Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to Coats and Jackets, and this is Kimberly.
And this is Mandy.
And we're doing Wizarding World Book Club.
Yay!
Today we are talking about Back to Hogwarts.
Yes. So a big part of the excitement for going back to school, especially this year, they really wanted to have like a Back to Hogwarts. It was the 20th anniversary.
It was 19 years later.
19 years later. And they wanted us to talk about our, I guess, first memories.
Yeah, so if you were a parent, what it was like sending your kid off to school, or if not, what you remember yourself of your first day of school,
Mm-hmm.
and first school experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And with 19 years later especially, because that's when Harry and Hermione and Ron send their own children off to Hogwarts for the first time, and that was September 1st, 2017 in the books.
Exactly, yes. So, I guess for my memory of school, it has been more than 20 years, 19 years.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. So, in the late 80s...
in the early 90s.
In the late 80s, I had some huge crimped hair. You've seen the photos. You'll see the photos. So I had this huge crimped hair, and I had a little sailor outfit on my first day of school.
Perfect.
Yeah, and a little pink backpack from Oshkosh. And I remember I went to a little K-12 school. It was about, technically probably could have walked to school, but I was in kindergarten. So I was pretty excited because my brother was in school and I was finally excited to get to go too. And we got there and I had a very nice kindergarten teacher, and we got to basically color and do all the fun stuff I did at home. I don't know.
But at school,
I don't know what I actually
there was
learned.
a little bit of like, here's the alphabet and here's how to read these very basic books.
Yeah, but...
like Amelia Bedelia. You remember those books?
Bedelia. Yes. So, I mean, like, or like The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't know if... I don't know, because I feel like my parents had already taught me a lot of that stuff before I got to kindergarten.
Yeah.
So, I remember being bored a lot in kindergarten, but also having a lot of fun.
Well, it was only half a day, so it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remembered if I got to do the morning session, which was my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
I'd get home in just enough time to sit down and have lunch with Mom, where we'd watch Columbo, because Columbo would just be coming on in the middle of the day on A&E.
It's a great show for a 5-year-old. Columbo.
Well, it's not like it was too terrible,
No.
but still, and I loved it. I picked it up.
Oh,
like
God.
we were already watching it together, and I'm like,
Yeah.
meanwhile I'm 4, and I've just started to figure out what it is. And so by the time I'm 5 and going to kindergarten, I didn't want my Columbo schedule to be interrupted, and I'd miss it on the days when I'd have to go in the afternoons instead of the
I
mornings.
didn't want my Columbo schedule to be inter- Are you like 70? Oh,
well,
God.
and then every Sunday evening we'd watch Matlock.
Of course. Yes, and Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote.
Angela Lansbury is still my hero, by the way.
She is.
She's fantastic.
I know. She is fantastic. But,
Well, it's true, and that's my biggest thing about going to school. I didn't want to miss it.
I mean, I don't think I'm much better. I remember my mom, she was a stay-at-home mom at the time when I was in kindergarten, and she used to watch soap operas. So when I was home, she'd have soap operas on. And I don't think I actually, like, really watched them, but now sometimes when I go into the lunchroom at work, I swear it's the same people, and I don't think the story has changed.
Probably
at
not.
all.
Yeah, soaps are... they're meant to be so ongoing that there's so little changes that you can always recognize it.
I feel like 25 years later, 20-ish, 5 years-ish years later, the story still hasn't changed, but that's what I remember coming home and watching. And then when Mom wasn't watching, changing the channel to watch like Care Bears or She-Ra.
Well, all that stuff came on a little bit later in the afternoon because it was for the after-school kids.
Yes.
So what would happen is I'd watch Columbo, and because of the commercials and the way that was spaced out, that would be about like an hour and a half to 2 hours, even though the show was like maybe an hour and 15, because all those commercials in between. So then by the time that was over, it would be time for the older kids to get home from school around 3 o'clock-ish. And that's when I could start watching all the cartoons like Care Bears and all that stuff.
So, what did you wear on your first day of school?
On my first day of school, and I've got a really great old picture, I had on this like pink and purple sort of like rain jacket, you know?
Yeah.
Windbreaker type thing. And I had a My Little Pony lunchbox.
Of course. That one?
That one, yeah, you can't see it, but there's one right there. I'm going to have a picture or something.
Yeah.
But it was a My Little Pony lunchbox. And you can't see the pony part, though, because I'm holding it like this, because...
This is the most precious thing I own.
Yeah. And I had a weird obsession with fruit roll-ups. And I remember very strongly wanting to collect the sticker that used to hold the roll together so I could keep a tally of how many of them I had. So I started doing it in the lunchbox and very quickly realized I was going to run out of space. And I remember getting an exercise book because, like, what else were we doing in kindergarten?
Are there still stickers inside that lunchbox?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
They did not come off.
Yeah, they have photos of that as well.
And I started keeping an exercise book then with, like, a tally of all of the fruit roll-ups that I had. I was a very strange, nerdy child.
So my mom wouldn't let us have fruit roll-ups.
I never had to eat full ones. She pre-cut them and then put the sticker back on because she knew I'd like the sticker.
So, I mean, my mom was very healthy. We generally went to school with the typical 80s lunch, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and a juice box, and like a piece of fruit. Most children these days would never be allowed to bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to work or to school. I'm not allowed to even bring them to work.
That was a big change for our school.
Peanut allergies are such a big thing, but
I had allergies. I mean, not peanut allergies, but a lot of people like in our area hadn't experienced that yet, and I went to a very, very tiny, like K-3 school. So
I'm just picturing if you went to school now with those allergies, they just would not let other children bring anything you were allergic to school. There would be riots. You would be, like, sequestered. You have to be like, you're going to eat your lunch alone because we can't trust you to not eat something you're allergic to.
Well, except Mom was very diligent about that, and that was one of the things Mom taught me from the very beginning. Don't
take food from strangers.
Well, yeah, but she thought it was very important that I should know my allergies and know not to take anything. So literally, unless it came from Mom or Dad, she was like, don't take anything from any other kids, don't take anything from a teacher, don't take anything. Like, just only what we give you for lunch.
Yeah.
And, like, these are the things you can or can't have, and she made sure I understood what they were. So by the time, and I went to a preschool as well.
Yeah.
Ahead of time, so by the time we got to kindergarten, I was sort of prepped.
And I mean, me and my brother, we never really found out we had allergies until later. I mean, I was probably, like, in grade 3 or something like that. And they're not, like, the anaphylactic kinds, so if I ate something I was allergic to, it just meant that I was going to get basically food poisoning, but that was fine. It wasn't going to kill me.
Yeah, most of my allergies are like that. Most of mine just make me very sick. I do have a couple that are, like, much more severe.
Yes.
And some of them were more severe when I was younger because I've grown out of them.
Those have been fun trips to the hospital.
No joke, she's taken me to the hospital.
Yeah, there's been a couple fun trips to the hospital.
And that was university.
In university, yes, yeah.
The best part about, like, going to school was always just, like, seeing so many new people and learning so many new things, because there's so much that, like, I didn't know. It was, like, a whole other world of things that I didn't know existed.
I think for me, when we were in kindergarten, or when I was in kindergarten, we went to Disneyland from, like, an Easter vacation.
No way.
Yeah. So, not my class. Me and my family. And I remember coming back and thinking that I was the coolest person in the world because I had, like, a Mickey Mouse shirt and, like, I was just like the coolest thing on the planet. And I remember standing up in front of class in kindergarten and telling everybody all about my trip to Disneyland.
For show and tell.
For show and tell. And just saying how I felt and everybody was like, whoa, like you went to Disneyland and
you got to see the things we see on TV.
Yeah, you went to Disney World and you met Belle. And actually, I don't even know if Belle was around at that point. Oh, God. I felt like I was a rock star because I went to Disney World.
Especially at that age,
when
right?
I was 5.
Yeah, because those things are a big deal when you're that young.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably my favorite memory because I just felt like I was the coolest person on the planet. And I definitely did not grow up to be the coolest person on the planet.
Well, I don't know. We sit down and talk very nerdly about Harry Potter now, so...
We're the coolest person to each other. It's fine.
It's fine.
I guess the other thing is that I moved around a lot. So I had a lot of first days of school with a lot of new people that I never met, and they were all terrifying. But I went to university for a couple of years before I got into my degree program. And when I went to university, I moved away from home when I met Mandy, and it was my first time living away from home. And I was oddly not terrified of going to university and starting this new adventure and starting this new journey. And that's where I met you.
Yeah, we met in university. We went to the same program together.
Mm-hmm.
That was an entirely new thing for me because unlike you, I'd never moved. I'd never been anywhere outside of where we were. I mean, my parents had taken me on summer vacations. So we'd like gone to PEI one year and we basically, over the course of a couple different summers, driven around the entire province. So we'd seen a lot of little out of the way outport things and stuff like that. So I mean, I'd traveled a bit, but even up to that point, and it's not like I'm young by the time I'm going to university, I'd never been away from home as such. No. So I had to move away from that, and that was a brand new experience. That wasn't overly scary or anything.
No.
But it was like really different and like there was a different kind of energy to it. There was a bit of nervousness, you know?
For sure. And I mean, that's really, I think, the closest thing that we have to an experience like going to Hogwarts, like you moved into the dormitories, right? For the first year.
I moved into an apartment for the first year.
I moved into an on-campus apartment as well the first year and lived with 3 other people.
I was off campus.
You were off campus
and I had to
year?
find my own roommate because someone who was going to do, that I knew, was going to do a program at the same campus as me, a different program, but was going to do one out there and ended up switching. So they ended up not moving with me. And then I had to like put up ads and get a whole new roommate, and it was a really, really different experience, and we had to like shovel out. There was one day we couldn't get to classes because it was a basement apartment and we got snowed in. And we literally had to like dig out the windows from the inside.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I lived on campus the first year, and then I moved off campus for the rest of my school year because I just didn't want to live on campus anymore.
Well, I went from off campus and that being a very strange experience to wanting to live on campus, but the problem was the dorms were full. And the dorms weren't really a great experience anyway.
And that's true. That was the other reason that the living off campus happened. There wasn't enough space in the dorms, so I ended up not getting a spot. So then I just got an apartment and I stayed there. But it was certainly a different, it wasn't scary, but it was certainly like walking to a room with 25 people, and these 25 people you were going to basically know
for the next 4 years.
For the next 4 years. And there was a lot of really great friendships that came out of that. So a lot of people that...
Just about everybody we met in that program we're still friends with, we keep up with online.
Yeah. May not talk to you every day, but we're watching you on Facebook. That's just creepy.
In a good way.
I just sound like a weird stalker.
So do you still have like childhood friends you made like way back when you were first going to school?
No, I don't really have a whole lot of friends from when I went to kindergarten. I have a few friends from my next move because I moved again when I was 10 and I lived in another community till I was 16. So I have a few more friends there that I speak to. That's where I really like. I met one of my best friend. We've been friends since we were like 10 years old. We used to live next door to each other. She's on the other side of the country, and like I said, we sometimes only talk like every couple of months. But when we do, it's just like
you never left.
And like we never left. When we can, we try and visit each other. So I've been in, I don't know, like 7 different schools. So my next move after that, I met my friends who in high school, who I am still friends with today. So I met them when I was 16. We have been friends for 18 years. How old am I? They're probably my best friends. Like, we still talk to each other. We still have we have like a group chat we talk to every day on there. We are crazy people. That there could sometimes be like 2 messages there a day. Sometimes there's like 148 by the time I wake up. When we started university, I have a few friends as well. But for sure.
Yeah, I've kept a lot of the university friends, for sure, yourself included, because that was how we met, despite not living that far away from each other.
That's true, right?
But like I do have childhood friends that I've had like since the beginning. Like we grew up always knowing each other because I didn't move around and they didn't move around, and it was a very small community, so we went to a lot of the same schools. And back then, when there was less internet, and internet was just starting to really become a thing here, or in general, really, it was, there was one school and there was another school the other side of town, and basically you didn't know the kids from the other side of town as well.
They were because from the wrong side of town.
Not that they were from the wrong side, it's just you didn't have a reason to interact
Don't ruin this for me.
2 of some of my best friends I have known since kindergarten. Like, I've literally known them forever. But we weren't really, like, super good friends until about, like, elementary school. Another one of my friends that I'm super close with now still, from back then, I never met until about grade 7. But that was when the 2 schools meshed, because one of the schools closed on the other side of town.
That would have been probably when all the schools amalgamated.
A bunch of the schools closed and there was amalgamation, but there was also one of them, the junior high schools, it actually got shut down because of asbestos.
Oh yes.
Because that was a big thing that happened. And they had to move those students to our school on top of the amalgamation, so our school was like extra crowded with students. And yeah, I met her in grade 7 and we've been friends ever since. So like the 4 of us have just, we've been friends since then.
It's funny how you meet people when you go to school.
Yeah.
So my 2 of my really good friends, my friend Audrey and my friend Steph, so they met when, I can't remember which one of them did it, but somebody brought in toy animals and shared it with the other one. So when my friend Steph stood in my friend Audrey's wedding, Audrey gave her toy animals as part of her bridesmaid's gift. And I thought it was really funny because that's how they met in kindergarten. And I met my friend Nicole in university. We went to art school together, and she didn't bring her crayons or her coloring pencils to class. And I offered to share my coloring pencils with her in university, and that's how we met. And so I feel like sometimes it just doesn't change. Nothing changes. It doesn't matter.
You're still sharing coloring utensils and making friendships.
Exactly. So I think the big thing about, I think that's how like a lot of friendships start in school, is you're sharing, or you're making that effort to get to know somebody. I think whether or not you're starting a new school or starting a new job,
just talk about things you love and you will find people.
Share
your coloring pencils. And it'll be fine.
Talk about Harry Potter. Or the people will either think you're the weirdest person alive, which they may also love. Or, you might just have one of the best friendships that you never ever imagined you could have.
And on that note, until next time, we
solemnly swear that we're up to no good.
Bye.
Bye. Do my little dance before. Get yourself
Your
jazzed up.
little park dance. Getting ready to go.
There you go. It's like my old man dance. You should have a beer in your hand though when you do it.
Yeah, you
Or
should.
a coffee. Old man dance. Just move your elbows. Yeah. It's like
A little bit of shoulder action.
a little bit of shoulder action.